Benjamin, recently graduated with impeccable grades, stays in his room. Downstairs, his parents have organized a party supposedly to celebrate his achievements, although he knows they just want to show him off to their friends. He doesn't want to go downstairs or face his family's wealthy acquaintances. His mother insists and forces him to come out. The night gets complicated before it even begins, and he has no way out. As he goes downstairs, congratulations surround him like a tide, and Benjamin tries to escape. After several attempts, he runs back up to his room and closes the door, seeking calm. Suddenly, Mrs. Robinson bursts in, saying she mistook the room for the bathroom. She is elegant, about 20 years older than him, and has known him since he was a child. She sits on his bed, lights a cigarette, and watches him unhurriedly. Mrs. Robinson's indifference irritates Benjamin, who doesn't know how to get her out of there without being impolite. When she finally seems to leave, he breathes a sigh of relief. Then she asks him to drive her home and forces him with her insistence. Benjamin gives in, but senses this isn't the end. He drops her off in front of her house and gets ready to leave. However, she asks him to come in, and he reluctantly agrees. Once inside, she leads him to a minibar and offers him a drink. Social pressure pushes him to accept. While he's drinking, she asks him what he thinks of her, and he replies that she seems like a kind person. She coldly replies that she's an alcoholic, and the tension forces him to try to leave again. She refuses to let him leave because her husband won't be home until late. Benjamin, confused, starts to understand her intentions and, though incredulous, rejects her. She laughs it off and suggests showing him a portrait she had made of her daughter Elaine before he goes. He, relieved to have a way out, agrees to see the painting as a final gesture. The supposed portrait becomes an excuse for them to go upstairs together. They both go up to Elaine's room. There, Mrs. Robinson begins to undress naturally. Benjamin turns pale when he sees her lock the door. She expects them to spend the night together, and he, frozen, realizes the danger of the situation. A door slams in the house. He opens the door and runs to the living room. He pretends to finish his drink and takes a deep breath. Seconds later, Mr. Robinson greets him warmly. He has known him since he was a child. He is his father's business partner. They talk as usual, but the atmosphere is tense and Benjamin leaves with his heart racing. Days later, Benjamin can't get Mrs. Robinson out of his head. He goes to a payphone and calls her to invite her for a drink at a famous hotel in the city. She immediately confirms that she'll be there in an hour, which throws him off. When she arrives, the first thing she asks is if he has already reserved a room. Nervous and inexperienced at 21, he gets up to make the reservation, and the receptionist notices his awkwardness. In the room, Mrs. Robinson gets ready to undress. Benjamin freezes, paralyzed by the idea of sleeping with a married woman. She, used to this, bluntly asks him if it's his first time. He denies it. She doesn't believe him, and adds that he shouldn't worry about not measuring up. Wounded in his pride, he overcomes his embarrassment and sleeps with her. From that moment on, they see each other every night. They spend entire mornings together in a silent routine. Benjamin seeks a deeper connection and wants to truly get to know her. He asks her if her husband doesn't suspect anything. She replies that he doesn't because they sleep in separate beds. He keeps pressing out of curiosity, and the relationship becomes more complicated. He wants to know why she married her husband. She confesses that she got pregnant with Elaine. Benjamin keeps pulling at the thread, trying to piece together the story hidden behind the facade. His questions don't stop, and Mrs. Robinson starts to shut down. His curiosity clashes with her silence. Jokingly, Benjamin says he'll go out with Elaine to learn more about her life. Mrs. Robinson takes him seriously, grabs him by the hair, and angrily demands that he never go out with her daughter. He asks why she forbids it. It hurts him to think that he isn't good enough for Elaine, but is good enough to be her lover. She coldly replies that he is, which leaves him disarmed. Furious, he gets dressed and tells her to go to hell. He calls her a washed-up alcoholic he only sleeps with to pass the time. She tries to calm him down and explains that she didn't mean it that way, just that she thinks he and Elaine are incompatible. Benjamin stops, lets his guard down, and decides not to leave. The relationship continues. Before resuming the affair, she demands that he swear he won't go out with Elaine. He swears with disdain, and she smiles, satisfied. Shortly after, life turns against him. His parents suggest he go out with Elaine. They insist over and over, taking advantage of the fact that the young woman is back from college for the holidays. Under pressure, Benjamin agrees to see her at least once, with the promise hanging over his head. That night, Benjamin arrives at the Robinsons' house and waits for the young woman to come downstairs. Mrs. Robinson looks at him with contempt. In a moment alone, he explains that it was his parents' idea and assures her he won't see her again. She doesn't believe him, and the coldness remains between them. Then Elaine appears with her father, so beautiful that Benjamin is left speechless. To escape the promise and break off the date, Benjamin decides to sabotage it. He takes Elaine to a strip club for dinner. Hurt, she asks if he has something against her to humiliate her like that. He denies it, but continues to behave rudely. Elaine breaks into silent tears, stands up and runs away, forcing him to react. Benjamin chases after her until he catches up and awkwardly apologizes. He confesses that his parents forced him to go out with her and that he didn't mean to hurt her. She keeps crying. He stops her with a kiss. Something sparks between them and the night takes a different turn. Later, they eat McDonald's hamburgers in the car and chat without any pressure. They connect instantly and both fall in love on that first date. Benjamin suggests going somewhere else. Elaine suggests the hotel where he usually meets Mrs. Robinson without knowing it. The danger of those worlds colliding grows with every mile. They end up going in and order some drinks. Benjamin pretends he has never been there, trying to keep up the lie. Suddenly, almost all the employees greet him by name. Embarrassed, he breaks down and goes out to the car, where he decides to tell the truth. In the car, he admits that he had been casually seeing a woman. Elaine asks if she was married. He answers yes. Then she asks if they still see each other, and Benjamin, downcast, assures her they don't. The young woman is relieved to hear it. He drops her off at her door and asks her out for the next day. Elaine accepts, excited. The next day, in heavy rain, Benjamin arrives to pick her up. He can barely see the figure approaching the car until she sits next to him. It's Mrs. Robinson, and she brings a direct threat. She orders him not to go out with Elaine or she'll tell her everything. Benjamin doesn't believe she would dare. The woman replies that he has no idea what she's capable of. The warning sets him off. He decides to act without thinking of the consequences, driven by anger. On impulse, Benjamin gets out of the car, goes into the house, and reaches Elaine's room. He confesses to her that the woman he was sleeping with is her mother. Elaine is devastated and throws him out, screaming, shattered by the revelation. Weeks later, Benjamin is still thinking about her, now back in Berkeley. He decides to go after her, setting out on a road trip without looking back. When he arrives, he blends in with the students and watches her from a distance. He repeats this for several days, unable to approach her without causing a storm. One morning, he chases the bus she's on so he can sit behind her. They both get off at the zoo. He bombards her with questions about what she's going to do, not giving her a moment to breathe. Annoyed, she replies that she's there for a date and asks what he's doing. Benjamin says he's just going to classes, trying to hide his obsession. Suddenly, a young man named Carl Smith appears and greets Elaine. He's the one she's on a date with. Benjamin is left alone at the zoo, his plan falling apart. That afternoon, in his small student room, Benjamin receives an unexpected visit from Elaine. She tells him she knows he was there because of her and asks him to leave. She calls him sick and claims that he inappropriately took advantage of her mother one night when she was drunk. Benjamin is stunned and quickly tries to clarify that it's not true. He explains that it was a consensual affair, but Elaine can't bear to hear it and leaves. That night, Benjamin is asleep when Elaine comes back. She says she needs to sort out her feelings and nervously asks him to kiss her. He gets up, kisses her, and takes the opportunity to propose to her. She doesn't accept right away, but promises to think about it. That small opening motivates him not to leave her alone. From then on, Benjamin looks for her around campus to push the wedding forward. She resists at first, tired of the pressure. Over time, she gives in to the intensity with which he pursues her. Euphoric, he convinces himself that the future is already decided. It's time to prepare the proposal. He runs to his room to organize everything. When he opens the door, he finds Mr. Robinson waiting for him. The man already knows about the affair. Coldly, he asks him if he hates him because he can't understand why Benjamin is mocking him. Benjamin tries to downplay what happened and says it was insignificant. Mr. Robinson becomes enraged. He states that thanks to that affair, he's getting divorced, something that 20 years of therapy couldn't achieve. He threatens to have him thrown in jail if he goes near Elaine, calling him trash. Then he leaves, leaving Benjamin breathless. As soon as he leaves, Benjamin rushes to the university to look for Elaine. He discovers that she has withdrawn and is no longer on campus. She left a letter in which she assures him how much she loves him, although she believes it's best for them not to be together. That message breaks him, but it also pushes him to keep going. He decides to find her before it's too late. Driving at full speed, he arrives at the Robinsons' house. He enters through the sliding patio door and goes up to Elaine's room, hoping to talk to her. He is greeted by Mrs. Robinson, who is packing her daughter's things. She greets him calmly and calls the police. Benjamin asks about Elaine, and she replies that he won't find her, regretting not having invited him to the wedding. The sirens are getting closer. Benjamin flees before he can be arrested. He's not going to stop now. With an improvised plan, he heads to the university where Carl studies. He needs information, and he needs it now because time is running out. On Carl's campus, he asks his classmates about the wedding. He confirms that Carl is the groom, just as he suspected. He finds out which city the ceremony will be in, gets in the car, and floors it. Halfway there, he stops at a gas station to use a payphone and check the directory. He looks up the number for Carl's father's office, determined to deceive whoever he needs to. He calls and speaks with a secretary. He pretends to be the priest who will officiate the wedding and claims to have forgotten the address of the church. The woman, trusting, gives it to him. Benjamin hangs up and speeds off. A few blocks away, the car runs out of gas, forcing him to continue on foot. He arrives at the church, out of breath. He peers through a large window and sees Elaine and Carl kissing. He bangs on the glass in desperation and shouts the young woman's name. Elaine sees him, says his name, and everything descends into chaos. Chaos erupts and Benjamin's decision becomes irreversible. He goes down to meet her. On the way, he hits Mr. Robinson and pushes aside several guests who block his path. Mrs. Robinson slaps Elaine. The young woman breaks free, runs to Benjamin, and clings to him. The wedding falls apart in a split second that no one can control. Outside, the shouting and banging multiply. At that moment, a bus passes by. They run and get on. They leave everyone behind, trying to take control of their own fate. The future remains open, and the silence of the road weighs on them both.